You know, many of the things that our group here in Alexander discuss, essentially echoing to some degree the things that have already been said. I think the themes of collaboration, mentorship, and being able to bridge between theory and practice were recurrent in all three of our groups that discussed here. In particular, in the first area of real-world issues, I think there was a strong emphasis on crossing that bridge between what we learn in the classroom and the real-world setting. I think the phrase that came out was off your seat and on your feet, regarding librarians who are in their workspace and knowing who the customer is, getting really familiar with that customer. That customer who they're dealing with can be a homeless person, it can have a drug or alcohol problem, and so in the academy, we're really not trained to deal with a public that is much more diverse than we are led to believe. And so there's some need for being able to be ready to deal with the patron in whatever form that takes. In terms of the second problem, or the second issue that one group dealt with, which was the curriculum, again, there was the need to bridge into the curriculum, the LIS curriculum, theory and practice, and that took four specific recommendations. One was to go to increased mentoring in the particular area that someone was heading toward professionally, whether that is going to be a public library, an elementary school, or what have you. If that mentorship can act as a transitory experience to ready them for real world. A second was a 40-hour curriculum. The recognition that we can't get the kinds of instruction and training and preparation that we're talking about under the current limited LIS program. So we're actually talking about expanding it and playing the devil's advocate, well, gee, will that become a demotivator for people coming to the program? And there was a resounding no, that we can have a robust and rich program that we can be recognized across the country for dealing with a specific niche that nobody else is addressing in terms of service learning and community engagement. The practicum, the capstone was also addressed, and there was a cry to make the capstone experience not just a glorified resume, but something that, again, spoke to the practicality of perhaps you did a practicum working in a community or in a particular library, and that might be your capstone experience. So you go out to get a job, they say, well, let me see your capstone work. You could point to something that is much more relevant and connected to a real world setting than perhaps, you know, a portfolio of the coursework that you took when you were in college. So there's that issue. And then finally, in the area of curriculum, diversity, and making diversity a key component in every single course. And by diversity, we mean diversity not only in terms of thinking about multivariate, multicultural populations, but also the subject matter itself that we deal with. You know, medical professionals and legal professionals, and how can we make the subject matter that we deal with much more diverse and all-encompassing of the various aspects that we might encounter. And then the final group, or the third group I should say, that dealt with research, again talked about collaboration. In the academy, we're all professional researchers, and I, for one, never realized that academic librarians are faculty that are required to research and publish. And what a great opportunity for LIS faculty to work with their colleagues across the campus, and also to bring students along, so that students have some research skills that they've developed as well. And I think that there's some interest in that. I know that had at one time been reflected in our program through a thesis option, but I think there are other ways to get to that. But I found that interesting to see that there was that interest in obtaining research skills. And again, you know, the bridging the theory and practice issue in research came up as well. Next one.
Yes, to all the above.
All of the above. Saving the best for last.
Yes, yes. And I have to read mine off the wall. We do want the information literacy course, yes. And we want continuing and adult education, meaning continuing education in summer. We used to have that. Then we got rid of our continuing education on campus, and we have something called, what is it called now? I don't know. But anyway, we used to have it. And, okay, we seem to worry much more about diversity in terms of information and the Googleization of the universe. And so we talked in all of the groups, not just in the research group, about how we bridge the gap between academe and the ivory tower and acceptable scientific blah, 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 blah. And fortunately, we had a few scientists with us so we could actually talk about the fact that you will never get two scientists to agree on what science is. And the real people, not only those who have computers at home, and get the Word of God from YouTube, but also all of the other things that come with Web 2.0, but also people who may never have been motivated to search for information and who we have to guide through. And that was a big word in our group, and I believe Anthony actually came up with it. We are information guides. Not so much filters of all of this information, but information guides, and that is our new role. The other thing, amazing how much of this was already in the curriculum, we need grant writing course. Are you taking notes, Julie? We need a marketing course. The reason I'm saying that is because Julie already teaches this, but you know, it's just amazing. We need to market the marketing course.
You must not market better. The market course.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay, and you can read the rest of it. As far as research goes, we want much more variety in the kinds of research that are out there. Website development, patent searching, these were things that were mentioned. I think learning new technologies, purchasing and contract, we've heard a lot of this before, negotiation, and hands-on use of vendor database and dialogue, STN. We had a special librarian with us, thank heavens. And under community, the big thing was communication, exclamation point, underlined twice. And one of the ways that happens is through practicums and internships, and we need expanded opportunities for that. Love the idea of having the capstone as an internship. That's wonderful. And some of the ways we could provide opportunities for communication are mentoring career night parties. And I emphasize parties because what is so wonderful about occasions like this isn't those, you know, teeth-pulling sessions we sit in trying to come up with original ideas. The real joy is coffee and schmoozing and hugging. And that's where all of the good stuff comes from. And we need to, finally, in communication, it's funny how it came under communication, it was really education, we need to teach people how to teach. That is the primary need. And how to facilitate these ideas, well, one thing that did come up, read, 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 and it's coming at you all day long. And go home and read some more. And then sit on the computer and have it come at you. Answer 80 emails, delete them all. You know, and leave 20 in your inbox that you have to deal with tomorrow. That's it.